Would you please rise and welcome the bride? To give recognition and worth to the beauty of love, and to add our best wishes for the words that Julie and Mike have chosen to unite them in marriage. There are no obligations on earth sweeter or more tender than those you are about to assume. There are no vows more solemn than those you're about to make. There is no human institution more important than that of the home you're about to formally begin. The state of matrimony is based on this deep and visible union of two people in love who seek to find completion in one another, body and soul. And so today is the chosen day for us to celebrate the union of Julie Ann Reinhardt and Michael Patrick McKenna in marriage. I invite all of you to feel perfectly free to smile and to enjoy the privilege and pleasure we have today to witness this wonderful celebration of love. Mike and Julie, as we worked on the details for this great day, you told me we'd have a very special group of people here today to celebrate. So I have an important question for those of you in the audience today. Do you, as parents, family members, and friends, give your blessing and support and encouragement for Mike and Julie to be joined together in marriage? If so, would you please respond with a very warm, "We do."
We do.
Oh, nicely done. Please be seated. Julie and Mike, I know you really appreciate having your family and friends here today to celebrate with you, and some very special people standing here in support of you, your bridesmaids and groomsmen. Julie, your matron of honor and sister-in-law, Mickey. Your junior bridesmaid and daughter-in-law, Isabella. Your maid of honor and daughter, Ella. And bridesmaids, Angelina, Donna, and Estella. Mike, your best man and brother, Brian. And groomsmen, John, Terry, Mike, and Jonas. We also remember Melissa, who is struggling with ovarian cancer, and she was not well enough to be here today as the matron of honor, but her flowers are there on the altar. Each one of these folks is special to you with many memories and more to come. Mike and Julie have chosen this time to light memorial candles in memory of loved ones who are no longer with us, but live on in our hearts. Julie, you will light a candle in memory of your grandparents. Mike, you'll light a candle in memory of your father, Mike, your stepfather, Ron, and your grandparents. Julie and Mike have chosen a piece of romantic literature that expresses some of the feelings they share about love. For our reading, they've asked Nicole Paracki, cousin of the groom, to come and read Union, written by Robert Fulghum. Nicole?
You have known each other from the very first glance of acquaintance to this point of commitment. At some point, you decided to marry. From that moment of yes to this moment of yes. Indeed, you have been making promises and agreements in an informal way. All those conversations that were held riding in the car, or over a meal, or during a walk, all those sentences that began with, "when we're married," and continued with, "I will," and "you will," and "we will," those late night talks that included "someday," and "somehow," and "maybe," and all those promises that are unspoken matters of the heart. All these common things and more are the real process of a wedding. The symbolic vows that you are about to make are a way of saying to one another, "You know all of those things that we promised, and hoped and dreamed? Well, I meant it all, every word. Look at one another and remember this moment in time. Before this moment, you have been many things to one another. Acquaintance, friend, companion, lover, dance partner, and even teacher, for you have learned much from one another in these last few years. Now you shall say a few words that take you across a threshold of life, and things will never quite be the same between you. For after these vows, you shall say to the world, this is my husband, and this is my wife.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to celebrate the love that Mike and Julie have for each other. What do we mean by love? For you married couples in the audience, see how well your marriage is stacking up against the counsel I have for these two. To love is to enter a whole new world, a world of togetherness, a world of sharing all that is dearest and deepest within your hearts. To love is to remember and keep alive forever all those unique qualities that drew you to one another in the beginning. To love is to constantly search for new ways to bring each other happiness, to make the most of every moment you share together. To love is to create an oasis of tranquility for one another, a quiet place, apart from others, where you need not pretend, where you can be yourselves and know within your hearts that you will be accepted by one another. To love is to greet each day with anticipation, always eager for another opportunity to share new adventures and gather up new memories together. To love is to watch with wonder all the miracles of creation, to find beauty in all the simple things of life, and to find within yourselves a deeper appreciation and a new awareness of just how wonderful it is to be alive, to be happy, and most of all, to be together. And to love is to come together from the pathways of your past and then move forward hand in hand along the uncharted roads of your future, always ready to risk, to dream, and to dare, to always believe that all things are possible. You have faith in God and love for each other. When we love, we see things other people do not see. We see beneath the surface to the qualities that make our beloved special and unique. To see with loving eyes is no inner beauty, and to be loved is to be seen and known as we are known to no one else. Just as two very different threads woven in opposite directions can form a beautiful tapestry, so your two lives can merge together to form a very beautiful marriage. To make your marriage work will take love. Love should be the core of your marriage. Love is the reason you are here. But it will also take trust. Trust in knowing in your hearts you want the very best for each other. It will take dedication. Dedication to stay open to one another, to learn and to grow together, even when this is not always so easy to do. It will take faith. Faith to always be willing to go forward to tomorrow, never really knowing what tomorrow will bring. And it will take commitment. Commitment to hold true to the journey you both now pledge to share together. Mike and Julie, the commitment of marriage is one of the most important decisions you will ever make in your life. The vow of marriage is a pledge to each other of a lifetime of love. You are committed to share all that life has to offer, the good times and the bad, with patience and understanding. If your marriage remains strong, the trials and tribulations of everyday life, well, they must not shake your faith in each other. But beyond the love and respect you share, there must be a strong sense of commitment and loyalty, and a willingness to understand and accept each other's strengths and weaknesses. You must have an openness and willingness to communicate with each other, to be great friends who really like each other, as well as love each other. Would you please turn and face each other? Please take both of our hands in yours. So, how did their love story begin? It's the fall of 2016. They've been colleagues at work for 2 years. They had mutual respect for each other. They enjoyed working together. They made a strong team and accomplished a lot together. But Julie is leaving. She finds a new opportunity at another hospital. Luckily, they keep in touch. What started out as questions about her old job turned into questions about her new job, and then questions about her. That leads to all sorts of questions. Where did you grow up? Where did you go to school? They find strange coincidences. They were near each other all the time, but never connected. She worked with his first cousin, Leanne, 20 years earlier. Both moms shared the same friends, like Janet. They both went to the same first concert, Bon Jovi, 1987, UIC Pavilion. They went to the same school dances, the same bars, and knew the same people, but they never had connected until now. After a lot of talking and learning about each other's past, they realized that they talk to each other a lot. They just really enjoy talking about anything. They start dating. Their first date is a walk in the woods at Fullersburg Woods in Innsdale. They talk. They have their first kiss. He initiates. She was ready for it. They've been dating ever since. Together, they enjoy traveling, especially someplace new, doing things with their daughters, including multiple sports the kids are in, bike rides with the kids, and they even hope to rebuild a 1970 Chevelle SS someday. How did Mike propose to Julie? They look at rings together online. He's trying to see what her taste is like. It's simple, she says. That frees him up. In January of 2019, they plan a trip for 11 family members to go to Orlando in August. The week before the trip, he buys the ring. She is not suspicious. The trip had been planned for a long time. He has the ring in carry-on, no problem. On the second of 9 days, his mom falls in a ride line at Universal Studios. She suffers a serious injury. She is in neuro ICU for 3 days. He visits his mom. Julie tries to keep it a family vacation. His mom is released from the hospital. She was supposed to watch the kids, but obviously she can't do that. His original plan, do an after-hours tour of the Magic Kingdom with dinner reservations afterward. Instead of time alone with just the two of them, they have to be with everyone and to be caregivers as well. Julie doesn't realize any of this, only that he had planned a dinner for just the two of them. Plan B, wait for another trip. Nah. Plan C, he asked his mom to watch the kids at the pool at her resort. This gives them 3 hours alone. These two were stressed out and had not spent much time with each other. They were caring for the kids and moms. They go to Epcot. It's walking distance from their resort. Let's get wine, they decide, and go to Italy. He diverts her to the decorative gondolas. No one is there at that hour. They're at Disney, but alone. That's when she gets suspicious. She wants wine. He takes her to a deserted island. He has a speech prepared, but throws it out. This trip is symbolic of our life together until now, he says, a series of unpredictable events, both good and bad, and after each time we grow closer and closer together. Now she knows, for he has grabbed both of her hands. He ends with, life with me will be more ups and downs. There is nobody I want by my side more. He gets down on one knee with a ring box closed with a ribbon around it. Will you marry me? She puts her hands over her face. Yes, of course I will. She pulls the ribbon. He opens the box. He goes to put the ring on her finger, but drops it. Cling, clang. They are at the edge of a giant lagoon. They both think it might go into the water. It doesn't. He puts the ring on her finger successfully while still kneeling. He stands up. They hug and kiss. They hear applause from strangers on the mainland by Italy. They're surprised to have an audience, but love the people stop to watch. Then they walk to France for champagne, since Italy did not have the kind of wine they wanted. They get a button, just engaged, more applause, more photos. Less than 3 hours after leaving, they get back to their families. They don't say anything, but they are still wearing the button, and she has on the ring. Izzy and Ella notice the buttons right away. Ella gets it. They have to explain it to Izzy. And that's what brings us to today. What is it Julie especially loves and appreciates about Mike? This is the first time he is hearing this. He loves her for who she is. He accepts her no matter what she looks like or what quirks and passions she has. He knows everything about her and loves her more every day. His support never wavers. He is incredibly patient with her. He is an amazing dad. He puts his daughters first and is invested in everything they do, from sports to hair to makeup. Finally, he's just a good person with a good core. She knows that he will always do the right thing. What is it Mike especially loves and appreciates about Julie? This is the first time she is hearing this. She loves him. In every form that the word love embodies, she does. Nurturing, comforting, tough, inspirational, unconditional love. She knows him, unfiltered, real, good and bad. She's open, resilient, fresh. Whether peak or valley, she's at his side with whatever need the situation calls for. She's an amazing mom. She provides the right guidance at the right moment, always in balance with what is needed. Her patience and dedication to her daughter and to both of his is a gift. Last but not least, she is his best friend and soulmate. He sees the world differently today with her by his side. Wow. Future plans, the couple will honeymoon in the new year. Mike and Julie, I challenge you to love the greatest kind of love there is, the one just mentioned, unconditional love. It's easy to love someone who does nice things for you. It's also not that hard to love someone who does things for you. But there is something that goes far beyond the words, I love you if, or I love you because. Unconditional love says to the other person, I love you anyway, and I always will, no matter what. Now, this is the rarest form of love, and it certainly has the most risk. But no marriage can last without it. It should never be given lightly, but once given, it should never be withdrawn. When we pray the Lord's Prayer, we ask God to forgive us in the same way that we forgive others. Mike and Julie, unfortunately, neither of you are perfect. You will each make mistakes. But unconditional love says to the other person, I forgive you, I still love you, and I'll stay with you the rest of my life. Love that way. Mike and Julie have now chosen to exchange your wedding vows. Mike, as you look in the eyes of this beautiful woman, please share your vows and truths to her. I, Mike, take you, Julie, to be my wife. I come here today to join my life to yours. Before this company and God. In their presence, I pledge to be true to you. To respect you. And to grow with you. Through the years. No matter what we may encounter together. I vow here that this love will be my only love. I will make my home in your heart. And love you with all that I am. As long as we both shall live. Julie, without letting go of this wonderful man, as you look in his eyes, please share your vows and truths to him. I, Julie, take you, Mike, to be my husband. I come here today to join my life to yours. Before this company and God. In their presence, I pledge to be true to you. To respect you. And to grow with you. Through the years. No matter what we may encounter together. I vow here that this love will be my only love. I will make my home in your heart. And love you with all that I am. As long as we both shall live. The bride and groom have invited rings to symbolize these vows. Traditionally, the marking of the passage to the status of husband and wife is noted by the exchange of rings. Thank you, Brian. These are powerful statements of love, a seal upon your wedding vows. Let them mark you as husband and wife and wear them with joy. They are gifts as you are gifts to each other. Remember that tonight and tomorrow and next week and next month and through decade upon decade of celebration of life together. They are circular in their shape, a symbol of permanence, completeness, wholeness, and fullness, a symbol of the unbroken circle of love. May these rings always remind you of the vows you've just made. Mike, if you'd please place this ring on Julie's finger. Repeat each phrase after me, but saying it to her. With this ring, I thee wed. I give it to you. As a symbol of our vows. With all that I am. And all that I have. I give myself to you. Julie, please place this ring on Mike's finger. With this ring, I thee wed. I give it to you. As a symbol of our vows. With all that I am. And all that I have. I give myself to you. Family members and friends, you have just witnessed Mike and Julie exchange their vows and rings. Will you be responsible to help them fulfill their vows? When times are tough and you see one of them wavering, we come alongside and actively help them. When anniversaries come up, will you celebrate with them? You are here today because you are important to Mike and to Julie, and they invite you to be on this journey with them. If you help them to stay married and to strengthen their marriage, would you please respond by saying, I will?
I will.
Thank you. Mike and Julie have committed here today to share the rest of your lives with each other. The unity stand will symbolize that. Would Ang, Ella, and Izzy come join us at the table? I'm going to pour the first layer, which represents your marriage as grounded. The gray color represents Mike's life, the gray. So come stand up here. Pour a little more. The dark green color represents Angelina's life, dark green. Funnel's getting clogged for some reason. Go ahead. The teal color represents Isabella's life, teal. Put the rest in. Go ahead and just put the rest in, kind of spread it around. Thank you. Now the white color represents Julie's life, white. Just a little bit more. Okay. The mint color represents Ella's life, mint. Go ahead. Go ahead, just spread it in. And now the couple will pour their two colors in at the same time. Same time. This is trickier than it looks. Same time. And behold, after this tricky funnel here, the unity sand. Pardon me. I'll come that way. Pardon me. Now, sometimes at the top layer's got more of his color and sometimes more of hers. Marriage is like that. Isn't that beautiful? I encourage you to keep the unity sand in a prominent place in your home, to look at it often, especially in anniversaries. Look at it to remind you of the importance of your vows and promises. Isn't that lovely? Every family member has a color, and theirs mixed at the top. Oh, and if anybody needs help with the date of your wedding, it's right here at the bottom, so feel free to look. Mike and Julie, you have vowed your vows and promised your promises and exchanged your wedding rings. Therefore, in the presence of God and these witnesses, I now declare you to be husband and wife. Congratulations, but God has joined together, let no one separate. And now I invite you to seal this day with a kiss worthy of this great occasion. Mike, you may kiss your wife. Turn and face your guests. It's my privilege to present to all of you Mr. and Mrs. McKenna as they begin their new life as husband and wife. Wave those wands.